going on, guys? It's Gorilla Vinny. We're here for another 45-minute virtual class. As usual, we'll have a warm-up and a cool-down, and in between, we'll do 9 rounds, 3 minutes apiece, 1 minute rest in between. We'll mix it up between boxing and kickboxing drills, as well as some calisthenics and bodyweight exercises. All right, so we'll kick it off just a second. As always, remember, go at your own pace, take breaks when you need to, stay hydrated throughout, and modify any exercises that you feel necessary. If I ask you to do something and for whatever reason, injury or otherwise, your body can't perform that movement, give yourself a little bit of a break and try to modify the exercise in a way that feels comfortable for you. Just do the closest version that you can perform close to what I ask. Okay, so safety is number one priority at all times. Keep that in mind, and we'll end this in place. All right, so here we go. Warm up next. So as always, we're going to start with the warm-up. 15 seconds. We're going to go jumping jacks to start. We're starting in 3, 2, and 1. 15 seconds, jumping jacks right here. 14, 13, I'll call them out. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go to high knees right here. Up to your waist. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to go into squats. Feet wider than your shoulders. Take that deep breath in. Exhale, down and up. Just like that. Same thing. We got about 12 seconds. Try to make sure you sit back like you're sitting in a chair. Right here. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push-up position. We're going to go into mountain climbers first. Shoulders over your wrists. Drive those knees to your chest. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's give me push-ups. 15 seconds. Make sure your hands are about as wide as your shoulders. Eyes forward. In front of your fingertips. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Elbows down, hips side to side. Stretch out that mid-back. Work that stomach. Good. Keep this up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we're finishing up on our back. Bicycle crunches, bring that elbow to the opposite knee. 30 seconds right here. In through the nose, out through the mouth, 20 seconds. Let's go last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Good. To our feet now. Shadow boxing. Last for the warm-up. Just moving around. Give me some punches, some kicks. Just trying to shake out your shoulders, shake out your hips, wake your brain up to the activity. All right? Think about your form. Think about your technique. Think about your breathing. All the same stuff I talk about in my classes and in my tutorials. All right, keep your hands up, elbows close to your ribs. Keep your chin down. Keep your knees bent, heels up off the ground. Move forward, move back, pivot one direction, pivot the other direction. All right, give me some head movement, some blocks. All right, you can throw kicks, you can throw punches. You can throw elbows, all right? You can throw knees. This is the best time to really work on your technique and be ready with it, right? To sharpen things up, right? There's no resistance, no bag in the way. All you're doing is focusing on your technique, on your movement. Good. 10 seconds. 9, 8. Keep it going. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're warmed up. Let's get started. All right, so the first combination, we're going to throw a double jab into an uppercut. Then we're going to check with the front leg, follow it up with a teep or a straight kick with that front leg. So jab, jab, rear uppercut. They might try to kick me. Since I'm throwing so many punches, they might try to kick me in that front leg. So I'm going to check with that front leg, drop it down, just tap the ground, and then I'm going to strike, follow up with a straight kick from that front leg, okay? So we're going to start it off here. It's going to be jab, jab, uppercut, check, and then teep, all right? Starting the counter. Let's get it going. We're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's the counter right there. So again, jab, jab, uppercut. I'm going to check, teep, front leg, and I'm going to move it around, right? We're going to add some defense into this today, right? Check, front kick. Make sure as you check, you want to bring your leg up to your body. You want to lean into it, and you want to bring it out to about a 45-degree angle. You want to flex your foot, all right? So we're not pointing down here, kind of flexing the foot to make the anterior tibialis, that front muscle on our shin, stick out a little bit, all right? Jab, jab, uppercut, check, straight kick, all right? Jab, jab, uppercut, check, teep from that front leg. Remember, the teep has an outward motion like a spear. Jab, jab, uppercut, check, and I teep. Move it around, all right? You can go side to side, throw some other stuff. Give me a little bit of rhythm in between. Jab, jab, uppercut, check, teep. You could change the rhythm with it a little bit too. You can throw that jab, jab, move it around, uppercut, check, and then teep right after. Right, maybe jab, then jab, uppercut, move it around, check, teep. All these different variations. Once you get comfortable, you can kind of split the combination into your own rhythm, to what feels right for you. Try a few different things, right? Try the whole thing fluid, kind of moderate and consistent throughout. Jab, jab, up, check, kick. Or you could throw that jab, jab, up, check, and then kick. See if you could chop it up, all right? Got about 90 seconds to go. Jab, jab, uppercut, check, straight kick. A couple of things I want us to think about as we're doing this is, again, starting combinations off to set them up, right? You throw that double jab to kind of play around with the timing of it so you can kind of land that uppercut. Maybe from there, like I said, they don't like that you're throwing these punches. They're going to try to kick you. So get comfortable coming up off of your punches, getting ready to block. Here, I check here, here, I could check there, right? But we're doing it with the front leg. But again, the idea is after your strikes, be ready to defend and then respond right away. Using a double strike, let's say double movement from the one side. Sometimes we'll go here, check, and then kick, or we'll block with one side, hit with the other. Got to be able to block and then strike right away with the same side. It's an important skill set. It's a good combination to set it up, right? Jab, jab, uppercut, check, straight kick. Keeping your hands up, keeping your chin down. Notice, wherever I am, my elbows are always kind of by my ribs. My chin is down, my hands are up. I'm doing this kind of cupping motion. But even if I'm in my full fist, I keep my hands about eye level, always just below my eyes, right? So jab, jab, uppercut, check, and I kick. Remember, I'm also swinging my leg. I'm not just here, and I'm not swinging my arm all the way back, right outside my knee, right? Jab, jab, uppercut, check, boom, straight kick. I move, give me a little bit of head movement, right? Jab, jab, uppercut, check, straight kick. Moving around, one more time. Jab, jab, up, check, boom, straight kick. That was round one. Very good. All right, now let's work on the other side a little bit too, right? So from here, let's add that check again. We're going to add a little bit of head defense as well, right? Defense from my hands. So throw a jab, cross, block, and cross. Then we're going to check with the back leg, swing it through a roundhouse, okay? So I throw a 1-2. That's your jab, cross. They're going to throw maybe a big rear hook. I'm going to block it up here. I'm not picking my elbow up above my shoulder. It's a small movement, right? So you go to throw maybe a looping cross or some big rear hand strike. I'm just going to pick up a little bit. I'm not going to turn completely into it because I'm exposing myself. Turn just a little bit, pick my hand up. Elbow I like to keep as much as I can below my shoulder, right? Just a little bit here. Small, subtle movements, right? So we're throwing a jab cross. I block. I come back with the cross. Now from here, they see this opening. They maybe want to throw a kick, so I'm going to block their kick and then respond with my own. All right? So jab, cross, block, cross, check, and roundhouse. You don't have to swing through. You can place it and bring it back. All right? Let's try it out. So jab, cross, block, cross, I check, roundhouse. And that's me throwing it and bringing it back. All right? jab, cross, block, cross. I check, roundhouse. Notice when I check again, I'm not leaning into it. I'm not bringing my knee forward, bringing it off to the side. Right here, right where the kick is going to be, they're going to try to, maybe as I'm throwing this cross, they're going to try to land to my ribs. So I bring my knee, my check directly to where they're going to try to kick me. Bang. Then I place it down. As soon as that foot hits the ground, I launch right off. I bounce. Bang. Roundhouse. And again, either I can throw this kind of arcing roundhouse, then maybe goes to the body, or I can throw the roundhouse kind of up. Boom. That maybe goes up towards the ribs. Maybe if I throw it high enough, bang, to the face. All right. Little old school thing. I turn around, I block as I come around. So jab, cross, block, cross, check, and round kick. Come around. Same thing. Footwork. Move around. Right. Move. I'm moving. Jab, cross, block, cross. Right. Maybe I throw that once by itself. Then I check. Roundhouse. I bring it back. I throw different types of roundhouses. Notice I'm always on my toes. Right. Heels up off the ground. Right, chin down. Jab, cross, block, cross, check. Roundhouse. Boom. Get my feet. Always luck. Always light on my feet. Right. 1, 2. Block. 2. Check, round kick. That time I want to hold myself, use my stomach and my hips to hold myself in place, right? Make sure my mic is still on. All right, here we go. Jab, cross, block, cross, check, round kick. Same thing, I held it. I had to get up on my heels. Sometimes it's tough to practice these being up on the heel and coming back, right? That's why the warm-up's important. The more warmed up you are, more flexibility and mobility you have in your legs, all right? Do what you can. Obviously, the round kick, when thrown properly, should be on the toe, but sometimes when we're just shadow boxing, we do it here, and that's okay here and there, as long as we know what the full thing should be, right? If I was to do this on the bag, jab, cross, block, cross, check, round kick. Make sure that you understand your range, especially if you're on the bag. I throw that jab, cross, block, cross. I might be too close here. I'm going to hit with my knee, right? So I'm going to take a little step back. If you try to do this in class, right? Jab, cross, cross, block, cross. I come back, I check, and then as I go to kick, I pivot out, boom, make sure I give myself enough room, right? So here, jab, cross, block, cross, check, bang. I place it, I bring it back, all right? Jab, cross, block, cross, boom, check, round kick. Here, move. One more time. Jab, cross, block, cross, check, round kick, and I bring it back. There it is, that's round 2, very good. Take a deep breath, into the nose, out through the mouth. No time. All right. Let's add a sprawl into this next one, okay? So sprawl is our defense against a takedown, right? The whole point is to get your hips and your knees away from your opponent, because if I'm trying to grapple you, if I'm trying to take you down, right? If I'm shooting for your legs to take you down, I want to have control of your legs so I can hold them in place while I push your upper body, throw you off balance, right? So defending that, the important thing is to get hips and legs away. So what do? We do the sprawl. That's when we kind of shoot our hands down and shoot the hips back. No bend in the arms, and then come back, all right? So like I said, we're going to add a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of grappling. So our goal here is let's throw a jab, rear hook, jab, rear hook. Maybe from there they try to shoot for our hips. We're going to sprawl. We're going to come back. I want to throw a knee and then an elbow, okay? Jab, hook, sprawl, knee, elbow. That's what we're doing. So jab, hook, sprawl. I come back up. I throw that knee, and then I come back down on that elbow. I'll throw it straight to the camera. So jab, hook, I sprawl, I come back up, right to my fighting stance. I throw that knee, I plant my foot, and I throw that rear elbow. Okay, let's try that again. And again, there's different ways you can throw the knee. You can simulate like you're really in close. You kind of keep your body tight. You throw that knee here, and then throw that elbow. Or you can assume maybe they move back. You threw that long knee, and then you step forward with the elbow. A lot of different scenarios, a lot of different hypotheticals. You do whichever one makes the most sense for you, whichever one you feel like you can commit best to, all right?
And right about here is where my microphone died, so I'll be VOing the rest of this. And right now I'm talking about making sure that when you throw the elbow, you twist through it, the other hand comes up to your face, and you pivot your shoulders. You don't lean over, but you twist, pushing off that back foot. So when you throw that elbow, make sure your hand comes back to your face, and then you throw that elbow, twisting your body. Again, all the way through. So we're throwing that jab, rear hook, we're sprawling. We come up, we throw that knee, and then we step that foot down and throw the elbow. Different ways that you can throw that knee as you come. You can mimic grabbing onto the lapels if they're wearing a jacket or a shirt. You can mimic putting your hands behind the head, pulling the head down, driving the knee into the stomach. A lot of different ways to throw that knee. When you are shadow boxing it, sometimes you'll see people drop their hands down to their waist, but I try my best to practice keeping my hands up. And as I mimic throwing that knee, I try not to drop them too far below my shoulders so that my hands don't take too long to come back up and protect my face. So again, it's jab, rear hook, sprawl, throw that knee, finish with that elbow. And again, give it some movement in between. You could change the rhythm up. You could step forward. You could stay in place. You could drive yourself in a straight line as you throw it. Giving me some footwork and working the space you have around you. It's about 38 seconds left in the round. Keep moving. That's it. That's the last 30 seconds right there. Right here, I'm talking a little bit about making sure that you take some time to really get the proper technique and the proper form in the combinations, depending whether you go fast or you go slow, or you do like I just did, really stop and pause in each strike and each movement and make sure that you have them down properly. Your energy through your rounds is really up to you. Last 3, 2, 1. Here's a minute break. You can watch me continuously fix my hair because I didn't put enough product. Again, during the breaks, you can feel free to rest however you need. Make sure you grab some water. "40 seconds left in the break. I'll do my best to say whatever I think I'm saying in the video itself. But most important thing here is that you're taking these 30 seconds, last 30 seconds to break in between. So from here, it looks like we're going to throw a jab cross, and then we're going to drop that elbow down to the hip in order to protect, let's say, them throwing maybe a body shot or hook to the body. We're going to respond with an uppercut, hook, hook, and then a switch knee. So from the top, jab, cross, block to the body, uppercut, hook, hook, lead hook, rear hook, switch, lead knee. 3 minutes, here's the round. So here I go defending it or describing it. Jab, cross, block to the body, uppercut, hook, hook, switch knee. Making sure I turn my shoulders as I go. Not swinging my head left to right, but keeping my head right down the middle. Notice how I'm swinging my head. That's not what I want to see. I want you to keep your eyes forward. Jab, cross, block, uppercut, hook, hook. Notice how my eyes stayed forward and I brought my shoulder to my chin. Also want to make sure that my arm is parallel with the ground, either head height, or even if I keep my hands a little bit low, I'm describing why maybe my arm is not super high, but I'm reaching for that chin. So there's that uppercut, hook, hook. And then I throw that switch knee right into there. So while that arm is basically across their face, I can grab onto their shoulder. So jab, cross, block, uppercut, hook, hook, boom. And then there's that switch knee. Uppercut, hook, hook, switch knee. Good. Always landing on my feet, making sure my heels are off the ground, making sure that I have a good base as I step away, as I move around my opponent. Demonstrating on the bag, there's that jab, cross, block, uppercut, hook, hook, switch knee. I back up at the end to make sure that I'm not inside, keeping that long guard, protecting my face as I move back. Again, I kind of post out onto my opponent, either put my hand in their face, push off their shoulder, jab, cross, block, uppercut, hook, hook, switch knee, and I pivot on that front foot. Notice as I'm moving too, you see both my heels up, you see most of my weight in the front of my feet, not leaning forward, but staying light on my feet, staying very relaxed, very bouncy. Not bouncing while I throw, but in between, and always very engaged with my legs, but heels up off the ground, not flat-footed. That allows me to move around a little bit more easily. Jab, cross, block, uppercut, hook, hook, switch knee, could throw that elbow. There's a lot of things I could follow up with after I throw that switch knee. But we did that elbow from the rear elbow at the end of the last combination, so we're not putting it into this one. But if you want to throw it and you want to add something, feel free. And movement. Again, very important that as you throw these combinations, you're constantly and continuously moving around. Get in the habit of throwing the combos and then moving. You don't want to throw your combinations or throw your strikes and then stay in place waiting to get hit. Good. I'm circling one way, I circle the other way, just getting comfortable. Moving while I'm throwing. And then there was the end of that round. You got 1 minute break. Going into round 5 next. So right here I'm describing the difference between doing a proper sprawl and an improper sprawl. So when you sprawl, it's not like I just did, which is more of a burpee, or the way I described at the very beginning. You don't want to throw your chest to the ground and flop your legs down. You want to throw your feet back. You want to drive your hips to the ground and use your hands to shoot your feet back, and that's what I'm saying right now. So in the second time I do it, you can see I put my hands down, I shoot my feet and my hips backwards, and then I hop right back up. Shoot my feet off to the side, which is a little bit more of a wrestler sprawl, which will be described in a different video. So now we're doing some conditioning for this round. We're going to sprawl for, I believe it was 30 seconds. So I'm driving my hips to the ground, kind of sliding my feet back. And again, not flopping onto my stomach and let my feet flop and hit the ground. Last 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now from here, we're just going into squats. And then bringing the opposite knee, or bringing one knee up at a time to the outside of our elbow like we're checking. So you're going to squat and check continuously, 15 seconds. Keeping the hands up, just as if you were fighting. Making sure you bring your knee up high to your shoulder. 5 seconds to go. From here, we're getting plank position, 30 seconds. Elbows on the ground. Probably went off camera to get some water. I think I remember being thirsty throughout this class. There it is. Very good. I know myself well. You got 15 seconds holding that plank position. And we're likely going to do the same routine right over again. 3 seconds we come up, we start doing that sprawl again. All right. Hands and sprawl. Good. 30 seconds of sprawl. And again, you can go as slow or as quickly as you can manage, but the idea here is to get comfortable with the movement while getting some conditioning. 10 seconds to go. Good. Back to those squats. Squat, and then bring that knee up to the shoulder like you're checking. Part of the idea here is that while working those legs, I think I'm trying to get you guys to make sure you work those obliques and those serratus muscles, all that stuff around the ribs. One, to make sure you are good at throwing, at executing the check, which is also working the top of your leg, but then also keeping your ribs strong, which helps in all of your strikes. And now we're going to get down into plank position for the last 30 seconds of this conditioning round. And from here, we're moving side to side. Now, from that plank position, we're moving those hips left to right, doing these rainbows or these plank twists. Notice how my elbows stay flat into the ground without moving. And now, my goal here was to get you to work those sides ribs so that when you are blocking, you have a little bit more power, a little bit more strength, a little bit more stability in that midsection. Last 3, 2, 1, and time. 1 minute of break. That was round 5. We're going to round 6 next. Again, as usual, grab some water, grab some rest if you need it. Otherwise, you can keep moving around, practicing those combinations if you got a little bit extra energy. So from here, it looks like we're going to work some defense. I think the jab, catch, or as we call it, catch and return. So we're going to throw a jab. We're going to assume that they're going to throw a jab back, and they're going to catch it with our rear hand. So we jab, they catch, we return with our jab again. So it's catch, return. And then we're going to swoop with that front leg. It's kind of doing like the same thing as a pull, but with our leg. So I'm going to pull it back. Notice my back foot doesn't move. I anchor it. And then we're going to respond with the round kick. So jab, catch, return, swoop, plant the foot, round kick. Jab, catch, jab, swoop, round kick. All right, 3-minute round. Let's go. On the bag. Jab, catch, jab, swoop the leg, come back, roundhouse. So jab, catch, return, swoop, round kick. Notice when I throw these round kicks, as I'm demonstrating, I'm not picking my heel up off the ground. I think there it is. Exactly. I'm saying the same thing. I'm not picking my heel up off the ground because sometimes it's difficult to do so while shadow boxing. It's a little bit easier when we step onto the bag. But as much as you can, make sure that you pick that heel up when you throw that roundhouse kick so you have a good plant. You're going to develop a little bit of balance, a little bit of stability in that knee, the better that you do that. Jab, catch, jab, swoop, roundhouse. So jab, catch, return, swoop, roundhouse. When I say jab, catch, jab, or jab, catch, return, it's really the same thing. The movements individually are jab, catch, jab. I'm saying it right there. Jab, catch, jab, and jab, catch, return. It's the same thing. Catch, return, it's talking a little bit more about the strategy, about the technique. You catch and you return. You can catch and return with a cross. You can catch and return with a jab. Right now we're focusing on the jab. Continue with your movement. Jab, catch, jab, swoop, round kick. That time I swung through. Jab, catch, return, swoop, roundhouse. There it is again. Sometimes you can throw that roundhouse with a little bit slower, a little bit more controlled. Sometimes you're working it through getting a little bit of kick through. And those are the different ways that I was throwing that roundhouse, allowing you to work different energies, different parts of the technique, right? Sometimes it's just the control in the kick. Sometimes it's the follow through in the kick. Right now, throwing with a little bit more energy, a little bit more intensity. What you can do, maybe you're doing the entire workout like this. I have to work out and teach and talk the whole time, so usually I'm going a little bit of a slower pace, but if you feel so disposed, feel free to really go for it. Right there, I think I'm describing that when I throw that round kick, I swing my arms still shoulder height, so that if the person tries to throw a cross or tries to throw a punch back at me, I can still protect myself. I can kind of swat their arm away. All right, you got about 20 seconds left in this round. Jab, catch, return. Jab, catch, return, swoop, roundhouse. That time I went to the body, a little bit higher. And you can practice that yourself too. Jab, catch, return, swoop, to the leg, to the thigh, to the stomach. Good. 1 minute of rest right there. Last 3 rounds, round 7, 8, and 9, coming up. So for this next combination, looks like we're going to throw from that back leg. We're going to try to get that long teep from the back leg. It's kind of like a haymaker kick, right? The front teep, usually more used like a jab or a range finder. That long cross from the back leg is going to set us up a little bit bigger for a little bit stronger of a kick. So we're going to throw that long teep. We're going to check, cross, hook, and then Superman cross at the end. And that's a full combination. Long teep, check, cross, hook, Superman cross at the end. And I'm describing basically that when you throw that Superman cross, you pick your knee up, your rear knee up, and then as you kick it back, you take a little hop and you throw the cross at the same time. So long strike or long kick, check, cross hook, Superman cross. So long teep from the back leg, check, cross hook, Superman cross. Long teep, check, cross hook, Superman cross. Looks like every once in a while I'm throwing a jab cross hook, which you can do as well. Sometimes I use that front hand, not so much as a jab, really, but almost as an obstacle. So I don't throw a full extended jab. It's really more just kind of placing it out there, maybe covering their vision. And then I come back with the cross hook. And then I kind of fake like I'm going to throw the regular cross hook cross, but instead I throw a cross hook and then a Superman cross. Long teep, check, cross hook, Superman cross. And again, it's important that after you throw this Superman cross, you move out of the way and keep your head off the center line, keep your feet and your body off the center line. Because if you just stay there, it's easy to get hit. You don't want to admire your work after you throw that cross and then get popped. So as you're moving around, again, whatever I'm talking about right now, the main important thing is to remember throwing that long, powerful, straight kick from the back leg. Check that front leg, then cross hook, Superman cross at the end. And you get to use that Superman cross depending how far you move forward. Depends on how far back the opponent moves, whether they stay in place. So it might just be a Superman punch right in position, or you might really cover some distance. Making sure you really turn that shoulder into it. Good. Continuously moving, and again, you can see I'm trying to keep most of my weight on the front parts of my feet. It's the last 30 seconds right here. Right now I'm talking about the distance you have towards the bag. So if you're practicing this on a bag at home or in class, you throw that straight kick from one distance, then you come in for the cross hook. And if you're going to throw that Superman punch, you might need to back up and throw that Superman punch from a distance. You got 5 more seconds. Always think about your range. You have 3, 2, 1. 1 minute to go. Last 2 rounds. We're going to do combination for round 8. And then, as usual, we're going to do a freestyle round at round 9. So you have an opportunity to kind of shake it out. Would be the same as doing maybe an attack in class and apply some of the combinations and the techniques that we talked about through the first 8 rounds and apply them on your own for the last 3 minutes of class. So last combination right here. We'll throw a jab, cross, hook, block, uppercut, hook from the front hand. Jab, cross, hook, lead block to the body, uppercut, lead hook. Jab, cross, hook, block, uppercut, lead hook. All right, looks like that's going to be the full combination. Keep it loose, keep it relaxed. Try not to load up on these punches too much. This is more about keeping the arm nice and snappy. Kind of Mayweather style punching. And you can get a lot from the snap in the arm. It doesn't always have to be these wild, huge movements, Mike Tyson style movements, which I do love because they're a lot of power, but you can get a lot out of just a snap in the arm. Notice how snappy and relaxed my arm is, right? And I'm kind of popping my elbow into it. Jab, cross, hooks. That's it. Jab, cross, hook. You block your body with that front hand, and then you throw that lead uppercut and that lead hook right there. So as you're moving around, remember to keep that combination. Jab, cross, hook, block to the body, uppercut, hook. Right now I think I'm describing a little bit about range, that I can choose to throw this at a distance, or I could throw this in very close. This probably works better when you're a little bit closer to your opponent. And you'll see as I'm throwing this, I'm not really twisting my front foot. When you throw that lead hook, you absolutely can twist your front foot, but when you get better, when you're a little bit more experienced, you're going to be able to get a lot of movement out of that lead hook, even when you don't pick up your heel and twist the foot. I recommend people start by always twisting that lead foot at the very beginning, and then eventually you'll be able to do both. What you use in time really is up to you. It's not that one is correct and one is not. I just like to get people to understand what it feels like to twist their entire body into a hook. Depends for me how I throw it, when I throw it. If I'm looking for a little bit more power, I'm probably going to pick that heel up off the ground. But because this is more of a speed, flow, kind of snappy combination, I'm throwing that lead hook and that lead uppercut without really twisting my front foot. I don't think I described that much when I was showing the combination in the original audio, but looking back at myself throwing it now, I know that that's kind of a conscious decision I was making, but did not describe it accurately in the original video. So here's a little plus up now that I'm VOing the rest of this video. Like I said, always stay as much as you can on your toes, keep the weight of your body on the front of your feet, and you'll see that it'll allow you to throw that hook and that lead uppercut a little bit better, but it's really up to you how much you twist that foot. Time. There's the end of round 8. You have one more round coming up, so grab some water now. Make sure you are relaxed before you go into this last round. And like we usually do, we're going to try to stay relaxed. We're going to try to stay focused on the combinations and the techniques that we worked on throughout this class. And a lot of it was working on those blocks, but then also throwing straight kicks and then checks. All right, so I'm describing a bunch of the different things we did in class, right? All these different defensive movements. The swoop, the sprawl, the check, those blocks to the body, the catch. See how much of that you can incorporate into this freestyle round. So we're going to go for 3 minutes. Anything you want to throw. Stay very defensive. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. 3 minutes on your own. I'm going to demonstrate like I usually do. I'll move around just a little bit. But really what you're trying to do here is be creative. Learn how to use these combinations and these techniques without being prompted, without someone telling you, throw this, throw that. You know what to focus on. And you could throw some of the combinations exactly as we threw them in class, or you could throw your own combinations. You can put them together yourself. Do a little bit of both. Use what we did together, what I described as a starting point, and then maybe add some of your own flavor to it. Or go completely on your own, but try to stay within the template of what was described, using those different defensive movements, using a bunch of those straight kicks. Just keep moving around. You're already about a third of the way, more than a third through the round. If you need to drop your energy a little bit, you can drop your energy a little bit too. If you're already tired, you don't want to gas out. You want to make it through the entire round. We got about just over half a round to go. But see if you can continue moving, even if you just stay defensive. Maybe you just keep your hands up. You're moving around. Maybe you don't throw a lot of strikes. But do your best to stay continuous in your movement throughout. Remember to breathe when you strike. Stay controlled, stay composed throughout. You got 75 seconds to go. And as usual, you can see him just mouthing off, chatting while you're trying to work. Drinking some water. You guys got 1 minute to go. "45 seconds left. We're coming coming down to the last 30 seconds. So if you got the energy, let's see if you can pick up the pace a little bit. Really go for it. And as usual, we'll end right after this. In about 25 seconds, we'll end. We'll do a little bit of a cool down and then a stretch. Here I go again, demonstrating a little bit what it might look like if you pick up the pace and try to incorporate some of what we did in class. Last 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. All right, great work. Here's our cool down and stretch. Just going over basic movements like we usually do. And again, keeping the energy nice and relaxed. The point here is to stay loose and stay calm and actively bring our heart rate down. Take a deep breath in. And now let's go right to our stretch. Stretching the backs of the legs. Take another deep breath, and from here, bend the knees a little bit. Now we're going to get a little bit lower, let your head get really heavy. Stretch that lower back. Just hold it there. Now we're going to bring our butt all the way down, press out on the knees, stretch the insides of those legs. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly come up to our feet, slide our hands to our hips, and you're going to give me hip rotations to either direction. Very lazy but very effective movement. Just kind of keep the legs straight, almost locked, and then just push the hips in a circular motion. Go back the other way. You should feel the stretch out on the outside of the hips, but then also on the inside of the legs a little bit. Now we're going to lean to one side, pull the ankle to the body, or pull the ankle to the butt. Keep the knees together, stretch the quad. Same thing on the other side, keeping the knees together. Now we're going to put our hands in the middle, give us back twists, side to side. Again, you're probably watching the screen. You know exactly what I'm doing, but I'll describe for those that are keeping their eyes off the screen. Now expanding our chest, putting the hands behind our back. And now putting the wrists on the lower back, elbows forward, chin down. Stretching those rotator cuffs. Now you can bring your arm, one arm across to the side, across your body, pull on the back of the shoulder, circles in the wrist. Same thing to the other side, pull on the back of the elbow, circles in the wrist. Pull your hand over the top of your head, gently and slowly lean to one side. Put the other hand right down the middle of your back, over your head, lean to the other side. Good, back to the middle, relax the shoulders, gently pull your head to one side. Gently pull your head to the other side. Chin to one side. Chin to the other. Chin to the chest. And time. Very good. So last thing we're going to do, like we usually do, I've learned this in karate, we do a deep bow. And what I'd like you to do is think of one thing you are grateful for, as well as one thing in class that you really liked, that you learned new today. We're going to do a mini meditation on those two things. So we're going to put the diamond up in the air. And we're going to bow our head, take a few deep breaths, deep bow. And then one more deep breath. And as you exhale, we come up. And that was class. Thanks again. Thanks for listening to the VO. I'll see you next time.